Look, if you clicked on this video, it's probably because social media is running you. You're posting when you remember, cringing at your own content, and honestly wondering if any of it is even doing anything for your business. Today, we are going to fix that. My name is Jenna. I'm part of the Sulum team, and with me is Kevin. He literally helps business owners get their lives back by building systems around this stuff every single day.
Hey, yeah, thanks, Jenna. And look, I want to start by saying something that might be a little uncomfortable, okay? Most business owners don't actually have a social media problem. What they have is a time and attention problem that social media just happens to be making worse. Like, the reason your posting is inconsistent isn't because you don't care, it's because you're running a whole company and, somewhere between the sales calls and the client emails and the invoices, you forgot to post on Tuesday and then Wednesday, and suddenly it's been 11 days.
Oh my gosh, yes. And here's the thing, that gap, that 11 days of silence, potential customers are literally scrolling your page right now and they're forming an opinion. In 2026, people check your social presence before they ever visit your website. They want to know, are these people legit? Are they active? Do they respond? And if your last post was 11 days ago, yeah, that's doing real damage.
Right. And I mean, the data backs this up. We're looking at research showing that something like 55% of buying decisions in 2026 are influenced by social media before someone even clicks a link, before they call you, before they fill out a form. So if you're thinking, I'll get to social media when things slow down, I'm sorry, but things are not slowing down. That's not a thing that happens.
It's never slowing down.
Never. And here's the other thing people don't fully appreciate, right? In 2026, your social media isn't just marketing to humans anymore. AI systems, like when someone asks an AI assistant, who should I trust for this service? Those systems are pulling data from your social presence, from how consistent you are, from your proof assets, from your content. So a thin, inconsistent social presence doesn't just lose you customers directly, it weakens your credibility in AI search results too.
That's honestly kind of terrifying when you think about it that way.
It is. And this is exactly why we made this lesson, because the solution isn't to feel guilty and try harder. The solution is to stop doing this yourself. Look, managing social media properly, we're talking content creation, scheduling, community management, engagement, analytics, trend monitoring, platform updates. That's a full-time job. Like, research shows business owners are losing 15 plus hours per week on social media tasks. 15 hours. If your time is worth anything, that's an enormous hidden cost.
And that's what we want to unpack today. How do you actually outsource this in a way that works? Because, Kevin, I feel like most people who've tried outsourcing this have had a bad experience, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I want to talk about why that happens because it's not random. There are specific reasons outsourcing social media fails, and they're all totally avoidable. But first, I want to be honest about something. Outsourcing social media is not just handing your Instagram password to someone and hoping for the best. That is a recipe for like brand disaster. We've seen it. It's not fun.
Not fun at all. Okay, so let's actually lay out what outsourcing social media even means, because I think people hear that phrase and they have very different pictures in their head.
Yeah, great point. So when we talk about outsourcing social media management, we mean, at minimum, content creation, scheduling and publishing, community engagement, and basic reporting. At a more complete level, you're also outsourcing strategy, paid social advertising management, trend research, and brand voice consistency. The question isn't whether to outsource, the question is who do you outsource to, and how do you set it up so it actually runs without you?
Okay, so let's talk options. Because when most people hear outsource your social media, they immediately picture two things. Either a big fancy agency that charges you 5 grand a month, or some 22-year-old freelancer on Fiverr who's juggling 40 clients and barely responds to your messages.
Yeah, and neither of those, they're not exactly confidence inspiring, right? Like, you want something that actually works, not just something that looks good on paper.
Exactly. So let me break this down because there are actually three real options here, and understanding the difference, it changes everything. Option one, freelancers. Now, a good social media freelancer is going to run you anywhere from $500 to about $2,000 a month. They're affordable, they're direct, you're usually talking straight to the person doing the work. But here's the catch. They're typically managing multiple clients. So if something blows up in your business, if you need to scale fast, they might not be there for you.
Yeah, I've seen this happen a lot. Someone hires a freelancer, things are great for 3 months, and then suddenly, poof, the freelancer takes on a bigger client and your stuff starts slipping. Posts get late, captions feel generic. It's a mess.
Right. Option 2, agencies. And look, agencies can be amazing, but you're talking $3,000 to $10,000 a month, sometimes more. And at that price point, are you really getting personalized attention? Or are you, just account number 47?
Account number 47. That's exactly what it feels like sometimes. You're paying premium prices to feel like an afterthought.
And then option 3, and this is the one that most people don't even know about, virtual assistants, specifically dedicated ones who are trained in social media management. Now, a good VA is going to run you anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 a month. But here's what makes the VA model fundamentally different.
Yeah, tell them about this part.
A dedicated VA learns your brand, like really learns it. They're not splitting attention with 15 other clients at an agency. They're yours. And over time, they get better and better at sounding like you, thinking like you, anticipating what you need before you even ask.
And the cost savings are significant. We're talking up to 70% cheaper than an agency in some cases. Like, that's not a rounding error. That's real money back in your business.
So the question isn't really, should I outsource? Because at this point, if you're doing it yourself and you're spending 15 plus hours a week on this, the answer is yes. The real question is, who do you trust with your brand voice? And that's where it gets genuinely interesting.
All right, so let's talk about what actually makes this work. Because I've seen people outsource social media and completely crash and burn. And I've seen people do it, and within 6 months, their engagement triples. Their website traffic goes up 45%. The difference? It almost always comes down to process.
Yeah, and this is something that comes up again and again when you look at the businesses that actually get results. It's not just about finding someone cheap to handle your posts. It's about finding someone who will document your processes, think like an owner, and actually take things off your plate. Not just technically do the task while you still have to think about it.
That's the key phrase right there. Think like an owner. Because the real problem with most outsourcing, the business owner never fully lets go. They're still approving every single post, they're still rewriting captions, they're still stressed about the content calendar. At that point, you haven't outsourced anything. You've just added a layer of complexity.
Right. And look, there's a reason the virtual staff associate model works across 40 plus industries, from healthcare to e-commerce to professional services to restaurants. And one of my favorite real-world examples, there's a franchise owner, 10 locations, massive brand in the restaurant space, and his VSA handles everything from Instagram, 60,000 plus followers, by the way, to bookkeeping, to day-to-day operations. One person doing all of that.
That's wild when you actually say it out loud, like one person pulling all of those threads.
Right? And here's another one. A financial services client came in managing 62 clients. Within 6 months of working with a trained virtual staff associate, they were at 215 clients. That is not a typo. That's real growth.
And here's what separates this model from just hiring a freelancer or signing with an agency. A VSA, a virtual staff associate, goes through a 6-tier vetting process. Only 3 out of every 100 applicants actually make it through. So you're not rolling the dice. You're getting someone who has already been tested, trained, and proven to perform.
And here's the thing about cost, because I know that's on everyone's mind. A VSA runs at roughly half the cost of an in-house hire, so you're getting dedicated, skilled support, someone who shows up every single day, learns your brand inside and out, at 50 cents on the dollar compared to what you'd pay someone local.
And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but how do I even know if this is right for my situation? There's actually a quiz for that. You can go to quiz.myprosolium.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll get clarity on whether outsourcing makes sense for your specific business. It's worth doing before you make any decisions.
Super easy, super helpful. And if you want to see results faster, check out instant.myprosolium.com. That's where you'll find some of the faster implementation case studies. Real businesses, real numbers, real timelines.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's talk about the mistakes, because honestly, this is where most people mess up, even when they're trying to do everything right.
Mistake number one, no brief. Like, you cannot hand someone your social media and say, make it look good. You have to document your brand voice, your tone, what you never say, what platforms matter and why. If you skip this step, you will get generic content that sounds like it could be for any business in any industry. And that kills credibility.
Mistake number two, micromanaging. I know, it's your brand, it's personal. But if you're checking every single post, rewriting every caption, second-guessing every image, you've just created a more expensive version of doing it yourself.
You have to let the process work. Set it up right. Brand guide, approval workflow, content calendar, and then step back. Trust the system. That's honestly the whole philosophy behind systemizin5.com. It's about building systems that run without you needing to be in the loop on every single thing.
Mistake number three, and this one's subtle, so pay attention. Expecting results in week one. Social media is a long game. Engagement, trust, authority, these compound over time. The businesses that win on social are the ones that show up consistently for months, not the ones who post furiously for 2 weeks and then go completely dark.
And here's the big picture takeaway from this entire lesson. Social media isn't optional anymore. Your prospects are checking your Instagram before they book a call with you. Your potential partners are scrolling your LinkedIn before they even reply to your email. If your presence is weak, inconsistent, or just absent, you're losing deals you don't even know you're losing.
So the question isn't, can I afford to outsource social media? The real question is, can I afford not to?
If you've been managing it yourself and it's eating 15 hours a week that you don't really have, if you've tried handing it off before and it never quite felt right, it might be time to have a real conversation, not a sales call, a discovery call, where you actually talk through your situation, your goals, and whether a virtual staff associate is the right fit for your business.
You can book that call at prosulum.com. It's free, it's zero pressure, and at minimum, you'll walk away with real clarity on what your social media should look like and whether outsourcing is genuinely the right move for you right now.
And while you're at it, go take the quiz at quiz.myprosulum.com. It takes 5 minutes, and it might just change the way you think about your business and your time. All right, that's a wrap on this one. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Go build something great. We'll catch you in the next one.
Take care.